Today we're going to be talking about sports programs, specifically the West Coast basketball program and the family dynamics behind it.
Welcome to the She Means Business Master Society podcast, where we empower entrepreneurs to thrive in their journey. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of entrepreneurship. We've faced our fair share of challenges, and that's why we've created this space. Here, we will connect with incredible guests, key figures in their fields who have navigated the ups and downs of their entrepreneurial careers. Together, we will share our experiences, insights, and tools that can help you elevate your business to new heights. So, get ready to be inspired, motivated, and equipped with the knowledge you need to succeed. Let's jump into today's episode. Comenzamos. She Means Business.
Hello, welcome to the She Means Business podcast, Sports Highlight Her. I'm Jen Gonzalez, and I'm so excited to introduce and just have my guest today, Ms. Tina Thomas. How are you?
I'm doing great. So
Awesome.
Excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I want to introduce you and give your flowers the right way. So you are a devoted mom of four kids, a proud wife to Didon Thomas, the dynamic force in both businesses and community, co-owner of West Coast Basketball here in Las Vegas. You also help lead one of the city's premier youth basketball organizations that's committed to developing players on and off the court. And not only that, in addition to that, your entrepreneurial work, you have a professional career, girl, as a regional manager for Rowan, a woman-led retail company redefining the ear-piercing experience through safety, style, and empowerment. So passionate about family, leadership, building spaces, sports, retail, young people, no matter gender. You're growing people with confidence and purpose, and I love all of that. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start first, about you. Like, just tell me how you grew up, just a little background of, like, where are you from Vegas? Like, what brought you here?
Yeah, so I've been in Vegas for as long as I think I can remember. I'm originally from Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Island
Aloha.
of Kauai. Aloha.
Badass.
Moved here with my family in middle school, so I've been here quite some time. At this point, not to give away my age too much, but I've been here probably about 30 years.
Okay.
And I have always been in the retail industry, growing my career. And when Didon and I met almost 24 years ago, that was kind of his dream. And I said, okay, not knowing much about basketball.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Not knowing much about basketball, but once we had our first son, we kind of just dove all the way in and grew West Coast basketball, and that kind of has become our thing.
Yeah, so you don't have to be coy. Your first son, we'll talk a little bit about him. He's our hometown hero, basically, right? DJ Thomas.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Didon Thomas Jr. He
talk
went
about him a little
to
bit.
Liberty High School
Here in Las Vegas.
Won a state championship there in 2020. Oh my gosh, it's 2022. Yeah. He went to UNLV the past 2 years.
Go Rebels.
Go Rebels. Played basketball for them. He recently did transfer out.
Okay.
LSU. Go all Tigers.
Good. Now go Tigers.
So that's been an exciting ride, but he has been in the basketball gym since he was 5 days old.
Yeah.
At
basketball family.
Basketball family.
That's how we roll, for sure.
I remember his first game in the stroller, all covered up at TBA, Arcadian.
Yes. And I know a lot of sports moms can relate, right? Pulling the stroller and having, basketball going on. And I know, so there's DJ. And
then we have Tyus next, Tyus Thomas. He is going to be a senior this year at Liberty High School. He plays basketball as well. Awesome. And then rounding out the group, we have Brooke and Cayman. They are in going into 8th grade.
Yeah, they're twins.
Year. Twins.
Yes.
They play basketball as well.
Awesome.
So
all the way basketball family.
All the way. My goal, once we really immersed ourselves into basketball, my goal is to go 4 for 4. Yeah. Right?
Awesome.
Everybody to college.
Yeah. High percentage is always good.
Yes.
For sure. So now going back to this West Coast program, you said this was kind of Didon dream. So talk about your role as being just that support for him. Yeah. Right? So being able to walk hand in hand with your husband, to, uplift and build his dream, and then also just, how that funneled into the community. Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So once DJ, was of age enough to, like, we wanted to enroll him in something, we tried him in several programs, and we were looking for something really developmental, right, that could build those foundational skills. And we couldn't find it. Mind you, this was also 20 years ago, so things looked a little different.
Sure.
And, my husband just decided, I think I need to do it myself. So that's how West Coast basketball really was born.
Yeah.
Out of the idea of creating this space for my husband to develop our son. Obviously, he can't turn kids away. So, one kid turned into 5 and then turned into it just kind of grew, and he was just doing it for fun. And it was like, okay, I think we really need to make this into a program, a bigger, more established thing. But that's how it really started, was because we recognized there was a need. But as it grew and we really started to establish what the program was going to be about, it was important that one of us maintained a very parental aspect, right? So that's really where I came in, is looking at it from a parent's point of view. Not being locked into a contract or with some sort of program, or being able to cancel and leave and come back when you want to, or go on vacation and not worried about making a payment.
So the logistics,
all those logistics, those little things, right, that parents ask questions about. Sure. That's where my mindset was as a parent, even till this day, 20 something odd years later. Yeah. I still look at it in that, and that's where I think Didon and I really complement each other very well. He allows me to think in that space and bring that to the table. Yeah. And he focuses on the coaching and the basketball side.
Awesome. Well, I love what you just said about the fact that, 20 years ago and I know now, fast forward, how many club programs there are. Yeah. And fun fact, my son started out in your program as well. I might have to post some pictures in the comments of DJ and Jace
oh my gosh.
when they were 5 years old, starting out this program, and to know, fast forward, DJ got to play NLB, Jace played in the Philippines collegiately. So knowing that this is such a strong program to grow inside of, not just skill-wise, but the fact that we're still friends. Yeah. That it's a family and a community. Absolutely. And so I love all of that, right? Absolutely. And the fact that, you are able to work in your strength zone with your husband to be able to build this up, and how things came to fruition. So awesome. All across the board, all across the scoreboard.
Thank you.
It's good. So talk about now, as things do evolve, right? And so we're going to shift a little bit. West Coast Rain was born. And so talk a little bit about that, and how this girls program got developed.
So, it kind of just brought me back to when DJ was getting started. We were looking someplace for my daughter to play. As she started to play, she was still playing with the boys, and she was comfortable playing with the boys. But as we know, as girls get older, right, we want them in that space with other girls and girls and teenage girls and things like that. Yeah.
The whole blocking out thing.
Exactly. I think it was important. It wasn't something I think we set out to do. It really wasn't. I think if you ask my husband, I don't think it was part of the vision. It was, I think I had to push a little bit more and say, she needs her own space, right? She needs her own space. We need to create a space for girls within the program that's separate from the boys. Because up until then, right, we were very much co-ed, I'd say. So as she really began to take basketball more serious, then the conversation became a little more serious. And we were able to partner with Trevor Stewart, who was really passionate about girls basketball, and giving them a space for development, but also to play and showcase their skills at a development and a competitive level, right? Really passionate. His daughter is in high school, but he is still very passionate and shows our values in the younger generation, and developing those younger kids. Awesome. And so that's kind of how the topic really came about, and it just kind of worked out, and the timing obviously couldn't have been better as girls sports continues to is on the rise and evolve and grow and become even more popular. But I also noticed a difference in my daughter once that space was created. She's so happy, right? Like being with her friends. She's created new friendships, met a lot of other girls that she maybe didn't have relationships with before. She kind of has like her own thing separate from the boys, which is, it's really cool to see.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I love everything that you're saying, because how initially, you know, there was this need for the boys, and how organically, and it's crazy, and not at the same time how God works.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
In his timing, and what he opens doors for opportunity, and for you being that willing person to go, hey, we need this space for our daughter, right? So kudos to you for pioneering that as well, even in conversation, right, to get that going for your daughter. And I think that's those voices, and that movement is, you know, huge in what's happening in Las Vegas. As we've talked about, things are growing on that women's sports side. So that is so awesome.
Thank you.
So that being said, though, as a woman in this kind of male-dominated space, what kind of challenges are you facing, and how have you kind of overcome that, dealing with, obviously, logistics, operation side? What do you kind of deal with?
So I think I consider myself to be a little bit of, maybe chameleon isn't the right word. But I think I don't really look at, you know, it being male dominated. I kind of just know that what I'm strong at, where my strengths are, and I can operate with the best of them. So
amen. I love that.
You know, to me, gender, you know, I think, yes, okay, hypothetically it's male dominated, right? But at the end of the day, if it's a strength of yours, if I'm very confident in my ability and in my skills, right? So I feel like I can go up against the best of them.
Yeah, male or woman.
It doesn't really matter to me. But I know that what I bring behind the program, right, behind the boys side and the girls side, we've stuck to that. It's worked. And I think that, not to knock or, you know, say anything about any other programs, but it's important to me that we look at things, yes, okay, from a business perspective, but I'm also a parent, right? I'm a parent. I get it. I'm a human. And I'm realistic. And not all business is good business. Is that the saying, right? And we want to do good business, but we also want to be good people, and we want to do right by the community. At the end of the day, I've built my professional career for many years to a place where it allows my husband to have this platform and operate this business, that, you know, I don't want to say we're not dependent on it, but it's not the end all be all, right? So we can operate in that space from a parent's perspective, and be very realistic about things, and be fair. Right?
No, I love it. So, and I love what you said, and I'm trying to file my brain catalog to see if I've heard this before, because when we talk about sports, it is very indoctrinated that it's male dominated. Where what you're saying is kind of I'm not a victim, you know, in this industry, male, it's not necessarily male dominated. I know who I am and whose I am, and hey, man or woman, I'm going to do what I do. So I love that mentality. That is great.
It's taken me a while to get there. I think it's come with age, honestly.
Sure. That's okay.
But yeah, that's definitely how I look at things, and not just about, I think I have that mentality when it comes to anything. Right? I've worked very hard at building up my skill set and know my competencies, and I have no problem.
No, that is amazing. What was the biggest hurdle of, you know, getting the program off the ground initially?
The girls?
Both.
Or the both? I think, honestly, you know, thinking back 20 years, we had no idea what we were doing. You know, and that was it, just trying to figure out, you know, how do we run this business, be parents. We were, you know, fairly new parents. I think we just had twins at that time.
I do. I remember you walking in with the
you know, we were still in the little infant kid phase of our life, so trying to figure that out. But now, when we started the girls program, I think the biggest hurdle was, okay, how do we spread the word? How do we get the word out? We were kind of starting from scratch, right? So, and letting people know that, hey, we're here, try us out, give us a shot. This is what we're about. And so that probably was the biggest hurdle for the girls side. But, you know, we're now a little over a year in. And the girls just keep coming, and they're so much fun. They play so hard.
No, it's good. Yeah. I love all of that. So how did you build that community and trust to attract that talent?
Yeah. So I didn't do all the legwork, to be honest with you.
Sure.
I kind of just had some ideas that I shared and made the guys work.
Yeah.
But
ideas are huge.
Yeah. Contacting, the middle schools and high school coaches, building those relationships, right? When it came time, last year around this time, it was, earlier in the year, when like seasons were over or kids that maybe didn't make the team.
Sure.
Right.
So timing.
It was all about timing and asking the coaches, hey, if you can share our information, we'd love to work with these girls, right? Get them prepared to hopefully make the team next year. Awesome. Maybe girls that didn't have a club program to play with over the summer, come and try us out, come train.
Yeah.
So it just took a lot of on the ground grassroots. That's really what it was. Sure. And it took some time. It took some time, and we had to be patient and know that it was going to come, and it eventually came. It just took a little while for us to get the wheels going. But once, I think too, once we started to get people through the door, word of mouth was really huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And we're back with Sports Highlight Her. So we're going to do something a little bit of fun.
Okay.
A little bit interactive. So just really quick pop question, pass the ball. Okay. So I'm going to pass you the ball and ask you a question. And the first word that pops to your head, that's what you answer.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Who inspires you?
Oh my gosh. It might be a little too much, but to be honest with you, I inspire myself.
Amen. Okay. Here you go. Who is a rising star in the WNBA we should be watching?
Oh my gosh.
Who should be watching at all? WNBA. Who do you love to watch? Which player?
So of course I love our local fave, Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
But I know she's already a star.
Wearing her jacket,
She's already
bring the LV Aces. So
she's already a star. I like Kate that we just lost.
Kate Martin.
Kate Martin.
I know.
To the
she was so good.
Big fan.
Awesome.
Big fan of her.
Okay. Well, I wish she would have stayed too. I was a fan. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite food?
Cheese pizza.
That was an easy one. I love it. Cheese pizza. Here we go. Favorite place to go in Las Vegas? Not the gym, because you're always there. Where do you love to go?
Captain Louise seafood boil.
Wow. I have to try that. Okay. And last one. Ready? One word that describes you.
That's hard. I'm passionate.
Love it. Passionate. There you go. Pass the ball. Awesome. So we're going to get back into the questions. Okay. Was that fun?
That was. I love that.
Yes.
That was good.
Cool. I love it. So going back into the space of, building up this program on the women's side, right? What do you think needs to change to see more growth and maybe see more people get on board?
Yeah. I'd like to see more competitive ness and competitive teams from our girls. I think we go up to right now like middle school where we have our competitive teams. We have some really great coaches there. Mm-hmm. I think down the line I see some really high level teams that we're able to have even on the high school level.
Okay.
I think we're still I think we're a little limited on the number of girls. We have a lot of young little girls, they're so much fun. And let me tell you something, they play so hard, by the way. They're so exciting. But I would like to see us expand more onto the competitive side.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've had a few guests on here, that have been in this basketball space, specifically on the women's side too. And we've talked about that gap, right? Where there's girls playing, but their skill level isn't that high. But then it's like almost like an 80-20, right? Yeah. Where, there's 100% of these girls playing, but really 20% are at this competitive level. What do you think, why is that? And then what can we do as a community to kind of like elevate some of these other girls?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that it needs to start at the early level. There needs to be more development, more focus on building that foundation. When you look at the boys, and that's something that we focus on, that was always important to us in the beginning, was from a skill level. That's our main focus. It still is to this day. And we hit very hard on that in the beginning. I think even with our littles now, our little girls, they're so focused on their development, their skill. And I think over time it's going to show right as they get older.
Sure.
But I think, looking back the past few years, is that might have been something that we missed out on. Again, going back to why we started West Coast is going back to when my son was 6 years old, being taught how to run a play, but he couldn't dribble. That disconnect was there.
Sure.
So I think we just have to remember, we just always have to go back to kind of like basketball 101 and basics, where a lot of people, I think early on, used to step over that and think, oh yeah, I can dribble, I can do this, but it's that repetitiveness. It's that constant, no matter what you're working on, you're still also working on the basics and perfecting that.
Absolutely. I've heard, it's kind of like building a house, right? The foundation of a house takes so long and nobody even notices it, but it's like the longest thing to do. But if that foundation is not good, you stick anything on top of it, it's going to fall over, right? And anything that, success, basketball, whatever, that needs to be applied for sure. Now, coaching-wise, do you feel like that there needs to be, because I feel specifically too that getting these girls up to that skill level, that they need leadership, right? And coaches. Do you feel like there's not enough women that are kind of, is there need to be more, or what do you feel like there needs, or is it enough?
I think that I don't interact a lot with the girls coaches.
Okay.
And so this is just my personal opinion. But I think that as a community, we need to rally more behind the girls basketball and the development and coaches. I think everyone's flocking to be a boys coach, right? Well, why don't we have that for the girls? Why can't that happen? But I think you need to be passionate about it, number one, right? But the thing is like when I watch the Rain practice or I go to their games, so it's so different for me going to girls basketball games. But it's actually really exciting. It's a different kind of excitement than watching boys. It's definitely different, but it's a different kind of excitement.
Sure.
And I think that we have coaches, but we definitely need more. I think we need more coaches across the board in the city. And it's like, where can we find you? Who wants to coach girls basketball?
Calling more coaches,
right, for the right reasons, and do it with the idea of like, hey, I want to help these young women, right? Develop just again on and off the court as well.
I might have a women's league that I should probably start resourcing a little bit better, which I think Dana is a product of that. And I think what you're talking about is kind of seen with the NBA and the WNBA, right? In regards to that experience and, what the excitement that you get and watching the NBA games and then going to a WNBA game or watching it, right? All really good, but still different experiences, right? That have exceptional value. Within that, what advice would you give to young girls?
I want them to be exactly who they're going to be. I want them to be strong. I want them to be fierce. I want them to kind of have that mentality. And, my hope for even my daughter is what I said earlier is, removing the idea that this is male dominated, right? I'm very confident in myself. I want them to be confident in their abilities and not shy away from anything because they're a woman. Right? Or they're competing against guys. It's not about that. So my advice is really just to work hard, stay focused, stand in their truth, be exactly who they're going to be, because that's what the world needs. And know that we are so very powerful. I think more powerful than people really know.
Absolutely. And I love that, that's basically how she started, right? Where she played with her brothers, and then now evolving into this space where, it doesn't matter what gender you are, just play in your strengths, right? And I do have to mention, because I don't want to do that, right, is that Tyus And Jax also plays.
Yes.
All in the I was just thinking about that as you're talking about Brooke and Cayman, because Jax plays with Cayman and Tyus.
Yeah.
Right. And so again too, when we go back to like building community and what we're doing to make organizations and businesses work is to it's not, I don't, maybe critical, but just foundational as far as having those relationships.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's like there's so many relationships that have come out of the basketball world and the community here in West Coast, and relationships that have lasted over time. Yeah. Right. My oldest son, DJ, so he has a group of friends that I think he probably met playing basketball when we started back in 5th grade, and they're still some of his best friends.
Yeah.
Right. And it's those relationships that last.
Yeah.
And last and last. And no matter if you leave and go to another program, right, that relationship is still there. And I love to see when the kids get back in the gym together and they reconnect with people or other kids that have come through the West Coast program. It's really cool to see because it really has kind of spread like a web all over.
Yeah. No, it's definitely bigger than basketball.
Absolutely.
Right. And when we talk, and what we've talked about with guests in the past is, basketball ends at, different capacities for everyone, right? Whether it's I'm done playing in high school, college, or coaching, or even as a coach or as a trainer, you retire, right? And you're still alive. Mm-hmm. So what are we building around that? And what you're saying is those relationships, that connection, discipline, obedience, who we are as a person.
Yes.
And so I'll pass that back to you. What do you feel like is the biggest thing that you've learned through your experiences, through this journey, building your business and being a mom and wearing all the hats?
Yeah.
Advice?
I have learned that I'm capable of way more than I thought I was. And as I've gotten older, even to this day, I take on things for my son that's in college that when I think I have no more time.
Yeah.
But I know that I can do it, and I know that it's in his best interest, right? So I will gladly add it to my calendar or do whatever I need to. But I have learned that I'm a lot more capable than I thought, and I think I'm a lot more capable than people think. And I can run with the best of them. I may be, a mom of 4 and, never played a sport in her life. But I have learned so much, not just about youth basketball, but also about the college level. And, I think I always like to tell other moms that come to me for advice is, you do your research, I trust myself more than I trust anybody else, right, when it comes to anything. So do your research. I learn as much as I can from the people that are around me, whether it be other coaches, even other players, friends that we have, other people in the basketball community, or even my professional business, right, my professional career. I just learn and try to be a sponge, and you're never too old to stop learning. That is so true, right? And I really feel like I'm getting better with age.
Yay! I like that. That's a high five. I'll take that for sure. Well, awesome. Yeah. And so any last sentiments or long-term vision, things you want to speak into existence?
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that our program continues to grow and that the community knows that we are built on development. We are built on character. We are built on community and families, and we will continue to do that so long as I'm in charge. But, and then to our moms and my moms of athletes, you can do it all. Yeah. You really can. A lot of people ask me, I get it all the time, how do you do it? Yeah. And I legitimately say, I have no idea, but I get it done, right? And that's the thing is, we can get it done. I think I actually posted something, or I can't remember what it was on, but I made a comment that we, moms, are our sons, our daughters' superpower. That's the thing that people don't understand, right? Yes, I'm a woman and that's my superpower, but I'm his superpower. Yeah. That's what people don't know. Like, I'm coming behind them, right? So just know that you can do it, and we really can do it all.
I love that.
So
we uplift, encourage, and we're the power inside of them that they don't even see.
Exactly.
And that's pushing them forward.
Exactly.
I love all of that. Well, awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much
Thank you.
For your time, your light, your love, and your energy. West Coast basketball program, West Coast rain program, shout out to the fam. I always got to shout out my boys, James, Jace, Jax, Adonis, because they're the he's, but we're Sports Highlight Her. Couldn't do it without them. But thank you again for your time, and we will see you next time on Sports Highlight Her. I'm Jen Gonzalez.
Thank you for listening the She Means Business Master Society podcast. We will see you in the next episode.